In 2023, a group of NGO advocates and community leaders traveled from Guinea to South Africa to learn about the impacts of coal mining and the coal-fired power plants that power the mineral energy industrial complex. Coal is by far the main source of energy in South Africa, producing about 90% of the country's electricity. While Guinea does not yet have any coal-fired power plants, there are proposals for 5 to 7 plants to provide power to the planned alumina refineries in the bauxite regions of Brouckere and Vaal. Reports suggest that the coal needed to fuel these plants could be sourced from South Africa, China, and other countries. The first region the group visited was Mpumalanga, which is home to the majority of South Africa's coal-fired power plants. The province supports South Africa's mineral energy industrial complex, where the coal is mined and then used by the state-owned company, Eskom, to fuel its 15 coal-fired power plants.
So as we drive around, you'll notice that there are a lot of trucks on the road. Most of those trucks are transporting coal from the mine to the power stations.
The footprint of the coal industry is vast, and the impacts on local communities are significant. Coal plants take up a lot of land for plant, stockpiles, ash dams, and water ponds. In addition to severe air pollution, communities complained of ash on their belongings and homes, and the impact of frequent blasting on the physical integrity of their houses.
This is what we call a coal processing plant. So after digging the coal, they will bring the coal here so that they can take the rock out of the coal. And then once they've done that, it's only then that it can be supplied to a power station or taken for export.
This is the first power station that the group visited, Kendal Power Station. Because of the outdated technology and poor maintenance, including a broken conveyor belt and dysfunctional boilers, the Kendal power plant is only functioning at a portion of its capacity. In addition, it consumes large quantities of water and emits particularly high levels of ash and sulfur into the air.
This is Kendal Power Station. This one has been operational for the past, I think, 25, 30 years. Basically, all coal plants in South Africa are built like this one. So what you see here, these are boilers. The one below, it's steam. So this is where they burn your coal, but they also boil the water that runs the turbines. Then the tall stack is the most problematic because those are emissions. That smoke coming out of the tall stack is the one that normally impacts people's health. You've got your sulfur, your particulate matter, but everything that's dirty comes out of those tall stacks.
In general, the coal plants in South Africa do not comply with the national standards on air quality. They produce more air pollution than is allowed by law because these laws are not well enforced. This lack of enforcement is central to the local community's organizing efforts and is at the heart of the cases that these communities have taken to court, demanding that the laws limiting air pollution are enforced. The Kendal plant has been under tremendous pressure to comply with the air quality laws. Several years ago, it began producing reports claiming that it was indeed meeting the national air quality standards. But civil society conducted its own tests and found that the company was lying.
Since 1996, we have the Environmental Management Act, and basically that act looks into how we control pollution to protect people's health. Yet the reality is that is not happening. In fact, this plant we are standing at right now is facing a criminal or a legal case because they are failing to follow the laws.
Information from civil society was used by South African authorities, who initiated a criminal case against Eskom for falsifying their environmental information. This case is still ongoing. The Kusile power station was built in 2008, but is not functioning at its full capacity. It uses a range of new technologies to improve emissions, especially those of sulfur, but it is still highly problematic. Both coal, which is used as the feedstock for the power station, and coal mining have devastating effects on water quality, air quality, and the health of people living in the surrounding areas. Together, coal mining and coal plants have disastrous environmental impacts and contribute to climate change. NGOs argue that although Eskom recognizes that people die from the impacts of coal plants every year, they severely underestimate the number of deaths.
The whole coal value chain is destructive. You begin to realize they destroy the land, they destroy the water bodies. The air is dangerous for people to breathe, but then we do nothing about it. And we need to be careful. We can't buy water. We cannot buy air. We're creating a sick population because our kids grow up being sick. So this is basically what is happening with my kids and other people's kids. I'm raising sick adults already. So people need to understand that very carefully. So this is part of the report, and this was specifically looking into the Eskom power stations, which I said we have about 12 of them around here. Kendal, which is the power station where we first stopped, the estimation was 210 people will die annually. It gives you an idea of how many people are dying, how many people are being hospitalized, how many hours we lose, working hours, because of absenteeism. But it gives you a better overview of the impact of air pollution on people's health and the economy, not just health, but also the economy. So when we did this was part of the evidence we were going to submit in court.
In 2019, the NGO VEM, with its partners GroundWork and the Center for Environmental Rights, filed the landmark deadly air case. They urged the High Court of Pretoria to recognize the chronic air pollution in the High Veld priority area as a violation of the right to a healthy environment, and demanded the government enforce the air quality regulations in the Air Quality Management Plan.
My name is Vusi Mabaso. I'm with Vukani Environmental Movement. I will explain how we started to open a case for the deadly air. We had some door-to-door campaigns whereby we go to the families and collect evidence that really the air is polluted. So they began to support us, and some came out to say, yes, I also have that problem. So those people are the ones that help us to open a case. They write the affidavits so that we can submit them to the court during the case. Some of the people, they said we are anti-developers because not everybody knows that the coal is a killer. So some people think they will get money, they are being paid for working at coal, but they don't realize that after getting that money, they are losing their lives and their loved ones. And we then went to Pretoria High Court. As you can see in the photo there, it's us who were there. Before the end of the month, they then give us the verdict that we have a victory on the deadly air case. But though we have a victory, we were not happy because some of the things are still the same. The mines are still opening. The air quality is still bad. The power stations are still polluting. But we are happy that in some of the things that they are doing, like the air quality meetings, we are involved. So we are helping or in amending some of the laws of the air quality.
Est-ce que ça a été l'une des raisons qui t'ont poussé à être championne de ce monde?
The reason why I've joined to be a champion because of in our area, people they are sick but they don't know what's the cause. I want to teach other people because in our area they are not aware what's the cause of the asthma. So our area is very dirty and many people they are sick. I have to go and explain for the teacher that no, don't be surprised when my child is absent for weeks or months because she's sick.
What was that?
It was plastic. Yes.
How do we hold government accountable? If you go to court, what is it that you are asking for? So I think I mentioned two important things out of the judgment yesterday. That one, the court ordered that the minister must develop implementation regulations. Currently, we have a process that's happening to develop those regulations. But for me, the most important order was that the current levels of pollution are in violation with basic human rights, or the right, Section 24 of the Constitution. Even though I don't know now, but I think we can use that to hold government accountable. We encourage people to fight as a collective because the people we are fighting, which is industry, they work as a collective. They don't fight in silos. Engen will never have its own fight. There's always another oil company that will support Engen in its battle. The authorities need to recognize that they cannot take decisions without the engagement of community people. So at the end of the day, communities will not only be fighting for jobs or access to water, but what they will be basically saying is, you need to engage, you need to talk to us in order to make decisions that will impact on our lives.
I think they can get 10 or 12 over the
We are having 6 solar PV on top of the roof. Yeah, we are having 6. And this is the battery storage. This is the inverter that collects and saves the energy to these batteries.
C'est ce qui collecte l'énergie solaire et le transfert aux batteries.
This is how the installation looks like.
Ça, c'est l'installation.
So our engagement with the municipality is to say, we can lead our own energy by installing solars on our rooftop households in our community and space the roof solar panels in each and every household. We don't want them to lead what they think can work for us. We want to work on what we think will work for us. Then them to oversee the process. We need transparency. As we said, it's just. When something is just, is fair. Nothing is hidden. So that's what we want.
All the infrastructure that has been developed, it was not developed for ordinary people to consume. Most South Africans still don't have access to electricity. So we speak of energy poverty in the country because as much as we might have 12 power stations at our doorstep, but the same people who live on the fence line of the power station do not have electricity.
Around the world, the mining of and the use of coal is deeply criticized due to its disastrous impacts on the global climate, the environment, especially air and water, and the health of the surrounding communities. The coal industry is under tremendous pressure to phase out its operations. Activists in South Africa have been pushing for the government to move from coal to clean energy.
At the community level, the most important thing, one, is how you protect and preserve your own environment, but also how you organize amongst themselves to define your own development. So if you understand your energy needs at a household level, there are a lot of clean energy forms that we could use. Coal is not clean, and there's no such thing as clean coal.
For us, it's important to recognize if you're going to have a just transition, and if you're going to recreate a new energy system for South Africa, it has to be an energy system that people can engage with. It has to be decentralized. It must be socially owned. And what we mean by that is that municipalities, together with communities, and maybe together with private industry, all engage in creating an energy system that everybody owns. So instead of having, you know, the big coal-fired power stations around the country, all 15 of them, make every house in this country a renewable energy power station. What we have said is to the president, one roof, one solar panel. And we've asked the president to be the revolutionary to lead the renewable energy revolution in South Africa. And because when everybody's connected to producing energy, whether you're rich or whether you're poor, you then own that, and you will then take pride in it and make sure it is not controlled by only a few.